Billiken fans, welcome back. It is Zach Miller and Peter Hale. It's the Midtown Madness Podcast. Before we get going, of course, as always, thank you so much for listening. And if you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. A huge thank you to everyone who has supported us by supporting Two Men in a Garden these past few years. Two Men in a Garden is our amazing sponsor. We cannot thank them enough for keeping the Midtown Madness rolling, keeping the lights on at MMP HQ throughout the 2025-26 season. They are the St. Louis Salsa and Pickle Company, bringing you everything from mild to screaming hot salsas. They've got some hot mango salsas. They got some sugar-free salsas. Plus, they have pickles from classic dill to smoky barbecue. That's right up Pete's alley. Visit them online at twomeninthegarden.com to shop your favorite flavors and learn more about their Kitchen Hub STL. And don't forget to follow them on social media at Two Men Salsa on Instagram and Twitter for the latest updates. Pete, before we get going, speaking of supporting the podcast, I just want to let everybody know that we would not still be doing this if you didn't listen. So we thank you for hanging out with us week in and week out. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice a Venmo QR code beneath Peter. I will be heading to Cary, North Carolina to cover the Billiken soccer team in the College Cup. And of course, anything helps make that happen. We certainly don't expect any donations. But if you are in a position to help the show out financially, we'd be incredibly appreciative. We will. Anybody who donates, you will certainly get a shout out. Before the episode starts, we'll shout out anybody who donates. And if you're listening on audio only, you can find the link in the Venmo address in the description below.
Yeah, it gives us the ability to kind of keep the lights on and do some other stuff too. This show is definitely, as much as we appreciate our sponsorship and everything, it definitely is a big expenditure of especially time, but also a lot of energy, sweat equity, and a little bit of finance as well. So certainly appreciate all the support we get in every way. So yeah, just keep listening and supporting us however you can. But if you're willing and able to do that too, that'd be super cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I feel like we've been at this, Pete, for a couple of years now, and I don't think we've ever really put out feelers, and really it's just there. It's there. If you want to join in, maybe one day we'll get a Patreon, add some new features. But we're not trying to get rich here. Nobody gets into the Billiken podcasting game to get rich, unfortunately. So let's get started. Let's tease the folks. The good this week. I would dare I say that this was the perfect weekend of Billiken athletics. Men's basketball ends their California swing on a high note. They win by 40 and won by 40 plus back at home this weekend. Women's basketball gets off to a 1-0 start in A10 play. They won both games this week. And best of all, Peter, we have a Billiken team heading to a Final Four, which I don't think I ever thought I would say in my lifetime.
Wow, you didn't think it would happen in your lifetime with these soccer programs.
I want to get into it in a little bit, but I don't think I have still understood the gravity of what happened. I talked to some people at the arena, some former athletic department staffers. And I don't think I understood the gravity. I still don't. I still have not fully appreciated the fact that this is a Final Four.
That's right.
Look at it the same way you would look at it as a basketball Final Four. Throw out the window how much people care, quote unquote, about soccer, college soccer, and just look at it from the aspect of college athletics. It's the pinnacle of any sport in college, Division I.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Just absolutely incredible. Still processing. We're going to get into it. Not anything really bad this week. However, in the what are we doing here category, I am shocked. I was legitimately just completely surprised. How does Billiken Athletics not acknowledge the men's soccer team in any way, shape, or form during the men's basketball game within Chaffetz Arena this afternoon?
That's surprising. I mean, I wasn't in-house They did mention it on the broadcast, but
They did.
But in the arena, to not even acknowledge the magnitude of having one of your own programs currently in a Final Four, that's pretty surprising to me.
It is, and we're going to talk about it. We'll actually talk about that portion during the basketball, just as you know, it is part of the basketball experience. So we're gonna throw it in there. Of course, we could not lead off this episode with anything else other than the Billiken men's soccer team.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, Zach. They won 3-2 in a thriller at 14 overall seed Akron.
Let's set the stage, though.
Saturday the 6th. Yeah, Zach, we got to set the stage. It's another Elite Eight game for SLU. Not the first one we've covered since we've been doing this show, but it was another tough field surface. Instead of the swamp that we had up at Washington a few years ago, I guess what was that, 2021? This year, we got the frozen tundra of northern Ohio in Akron. It was right around the freezing point for the entirety of the game, but that field, Zach, played a little more icy than you would have liked.
It was a complete nightmare of a field. I just couldn't believe it. It was really an ice rink out there.
Yeah, and so you were.
I need an apology. Is what I'm saying.
Why are you stepping? I was about to give it to you. Zach. You sent out some texts early in that game. And you were complaining about the surface. You're like,
I was complaining in text, on tweets. Yep. I was sending. Everywhere. I was on Instagram. I was Snapchatting. I was TikToking. I was complaining to anybody who would listen.
You are the king of multimedia complaining. I gotta hand it to you. So you're.
If I'm mad and you don't know about it, like I there's something wrong with me.
But I'm downplaying it, right? Because I'm like, look, hey, both teams are playing on this surface. What are you going to do? It's not as bad as Washington. I was like, it's northern Ohio in December. It's Akron. This is it's just a gray place all the time. The field, honestly, on TV.
It's the Rubber City. Did you know it's the Rubber City?
Yes, I know it's the Rubber City.
Is that the saddest shit you've ever heard?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I mean, like the home of Goodyear Tire. It's like, it was an industry town. It's sad in that it's one of those Rust Belt towns that is beyond its former glories, but that's neither here nor there. What we're talking about now.
It's the rubber town where they make Trojan condoms, and
what we're talking about now is the playing surface of this field. And I downplayed it early on, but as the game went on, Zach, it was clear that players were really having trouble with traction, and it did go both ways, and there was some slipping. But I was feeling it as a 42-year-old watching this game. My knees were like tingling the whole time watching these guys run around and like come to a stop, because I'm like, any time now somebody is going to take a weird slip, and it's going to be the end of his knee. And and I'm so glad.
That's how Dr. Atkins went.
I'm so glad that nobody on either team went down with a season-ending injury there, because they very well could have.
I think the most concerning moment had to be Jack DiMaria near the corner flag in the second half.
Oh yeah,
he really kind of took two steps, and then on the game-deciding goal, and we're going to show some video of it here in a minute if you're watching on YouTube. The game-deciding goal. I think it was Heckenleibel. He nearly tore an ACL up on the sideline, up on the end line,
over the end line, and then toward the rope, and then could not stop. Right? It was like watching somebody on literally on ice, accidentally running onto a sheet of ice that they didn't know they were on.
It was a cartoon. It was like watching Daffy Duck run across a sheet of ice and do a pirouette, trying to catch his balance.
And you needed the Hanna-Barbera like sound effects,
yes.
trying to backtrack as he was doing that. It was just brutal. So yeah, mea culpa, Zach. It was a tough surface, and I think it got tougher over the course of the game as well. But setting the stage a little bit further, Akron was the 14th overall seed. Only the top 16 teams are seeded in the tournament, and SLU was one of two unseeded teams left in the quarterfinals, Washington being another one. Washington also advancing, by the way. So there are both of them in the semifinals now. And Akron won, Zach, the last time these teams met back in September, a decisive 3-0 victory. We covered that game last week, but you kind of revisited that game, Zach, didn't you?
Yeah, and what I saw in that game was it's a kind of a midweek. If we were talking about college baseball, it very much was a midweek contest where you used a lot of players. You had a slip from Abenell that caused a penalty. They converted on the penalty. The Billikens could have had a penalty called. It wasn't called. Very unlucky in a lot of ways. The Akron played really well. They dominated that game, but also the Billikens really held strong comparatively with the level of pressure that Akron put on them. And so when I watched that back, I didn't find this Akron team scary. Combine that with what I saw in watching their game against UConn in the Big East semifinal, where Akron scores first, UConn comes back and scores 2 goals to win that semifinal and go to the final, obviously. I didn't think this Akron team was scary at all. However, what I didn't consider was the level of dirty play that this Akron team was going to stoop to. Look, I know that we are complete homers. I know that I can get out of pocket but like there was some really rough stuff. Like really I don't know, man. Like it was shocking to me at times.
SLU can be a chirpy team. They talk trash with the best of them. They've got a lot of swagger. They've got a lot of attitude, but there's a difference between that and the sort of physical dirtiness that we saw from Akron. And we will get into that. But unfortunately, Zach, it was Akron who struck first in the 4th minute. Jack Roman, assisted by Stefan Dobrjevich and Ashton Camden. He made
I want to show this play because that where I felt, the Billikens had, let's see, it was that, where was the play on, was that, Leatherman, the tackle on Leatherman, was that in the first half? I believe it was. So, I mean,
I figured we would get to this chronologically, but yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, we can. Well, no, let's do that. My apologies. I got excited. I get excited about Carlos Leatherman. That sounded bad. Don't snip that. Whatever you do, don't snip that.
Yeah, it's his name, right? It's his name. It's the leather thing.
Let's pull up. Let me actually pull up the video though of the first goal. So yeah, Pete, here's the goal. You mentioned it was the 4th minute. This really was a smash and grab to start the game. Talk about what we see here.
Yeah, it was. So we've got Akron, long ball. And your first thought there, Zach, the long ball that goes ahead from, I just said their names. Let me get back to it.
Roman scored from Dobrjevich.
Dobrjevich was the passer and Roman was the shooter. So your first thought upon seeing that is he had to be offsides, right? He had to be offsides. Like that's just immediately because there was such a long ball and he was so far ahead of the SLU defense by the time he got it. But then upon further review, he was on. It was just a really well-timed run and a really well-placed ball. They beat us. It was great. And you call it a smash and grab job, and it really was. But that's almost not giving them enough credit for how well played that was.
Yeah, it was, and you watched it, and like you said, it had to be offside. And I don't want to take away from how good of a run that was from Dobrjevich, but there was so much pointing going around the Billiken back line. And I thought that it was just way too easy. The lack of communication from the Billiken back line. And it was very unsettling to see that early in this game.
Yeah, it really was. And you worried oh wow, is this just going to be this solid backline, this solid goaltender, that group that we've had all season long that's been so good? Is this where they fall apart? Out here this cold, icy field. It's been a long season. Like, is this where it all just sort of breaks down? You're not feeling good about that early. And then Zach, not all that much later, SLU had a handball in the box that set up an Akron PK.
They sure did, Pete. And here it is. Again, I think this is one where it's kind of a victim of the field conditions, right? You've got a guy that's got to make a hard cut there, and
Yep.
You're going down. You're trying to maintain your balance, and your arms are going to come out. And just a really unlucky, unfortunate, frustrating handball, and it sets up that PK, Pete.
Yeah, it was Theo Franca, and it's unlucky, but it was a no doubter. They reviewed it. All it took was one replay, and it was just like, that there's no other way that the call can go. But Zach, the good news is we have Jeremy Abinell in goal.
We do, but talk to me about your feelings. You see the handball. When you see it, what's your reaction when you see the handball?
Well, it was just, okay, that's 2-0. Like I automatically go to, okay, 2-0. We're like 20 minutes into this game. Is this, there's nothing about this game so far that makes me think we're going to score 3 goals. And is this just going to be like an embarrassing out, when this team's been playing so well since the last time they played at Akron? Is there just something about this matchup, something about this field, this location? Is it just, did we just run out of gas? So to me, it's more like, what is our chance of coming back, maybe getting 2 goals by the end of regulation and putting this thing into overtime and just seeing what happens? Like that to me at that point is the best case scenario. But it's just that pit in my stomach, that dread, because that was obviously a handball, and now they've got a high percentage shot to go up 2-0.
What did you think about? So obviously the ref going. I didn't like the VAR setup at Akron. There was nothing wrong with it. It just really bothered me that I didn't know where he went.
Yeah, it's in that little carve out.
Like I just knew he went down near the locker rooms.
Yeah.
And it was just, it took a while, and you really didn't get any communication. But I just thought it was, what did you like? You see that they give the penalty, and then you get to the setup where he steps up to the spot. And I mean, does your view change when you see Abinell rooted to the line, ready to make, a game-saving save?
Does my view change? I mean, it's just like, hey, there's nobody else I'd rather have back on that line than Abinell. And at this point, it's just like, well, you never know, right? And so but I will tell you, Zach, when he's on the line, I've got that sinking feeling like it's going to be 2-0. But as soon as he did that hesitation where he like you're showing it now, that hesitation where he drags his leg and he takes that long stride and drags his leg, I was like, you idiot. You just gave the best goalkeeper in men's college soccer all the time in the world to see what you're going to do now, you moron. And sure enough, like I was,
God damn,
it was just like, how could you do that after you saw the way, and they saw after you saw the way that the shootout ended the other day? Why is that what you're going to do? Like the first thing Abinell says is, when they do that, I have more time to see what he's going to do with it.
Let's look at this, because you mentioned the stutter step, and I just saw something in that lead up, and I think our viewers on YouTube might have seen it too. But watch as he stutters and goes to actually kick the ball.
All right, I'm watching here.
Okay.
Are you talking about players starting to come into the box?
No, watch him. Watch him right after the kick goes. Well, after the ball's gone.
Oh, he slips.
He does slip.
He did, yeah.
He stutters and slips.
He slips on the follow through.
Buddy,
He slips on the follow through.
What do we have to do, buddy? Don't get cute. Don't get cute when the game's on the line and the weather is god awful.
Well, and it's yet another so there's the other reason, right? There's the other reason this was so dumb. You like on that surface when it's that cold, the grass blades, whatever are freezing. You can't risk slipping. You just have to go up and hit the ball well. Don't do that. I like nothing about that approach made sense to me. I'm so glad he did it. I'm so glad his brain exited his head for that attempt.
Brainless, gutless.
I'm thrilled to see that was Dobrjevich who did it, right?
Yes, it was Dobrjevich.
Who, as we established, I think is really the only local. I think he's from Uniontown, Ohio.
A proud citizen of the Rubber City.
That's right. They've got another guy from Northeast Ohio who's like an hour east, out by Steubenville, and they had another player who's like in the Cleveland area. But really, we
don't talk about Steubenville.
Because I think for obvious reasons, but it's also what's his name, the famous crooner who's from there, Dean Martin's from there.
I did not know that.
And Wu-Tang Clan, a bunch of Wu-Tang is
they're for the children.
They've got ties to Steubenville. Anyway,
okay.
So yeah, he's the one who missed it. I don't know, Zach. Is there anything I'm missing here other than he just really made a terrible decision in front of an absolute shark of a goaltender?
I mean, I don't think. I think that's like I don't think I'm giving away any secrets here. But trying to get Jeremy to bite on any sort of PK cuteness has been a completely futile effort since the last time we played Akron. Every piece of video, I just don't. I mean, Abinell knew it. As soon as he stuttered, he gave away the direction he was going because he opened his body up, his hips up, and Abinell knew he was good, and he gave away his power.
That's right.
So not only does Abinell know he's going to his left, Abinell's left, but he also knows that he's got time. So just an absolute boneheaded mistake there by Dobrjevich. But things really escalated from there physically.
They really did. So this is where things, really got chippy. This is where all the yellow cards started coming out. Andrew Heckenleibel, Jackson Delkus, they both got first half yellow cards for SLU. The Zips had two of their own, but there was also some crazy things that just didn't get called, Zach. Like Heckenleibel had a potential breakaway getting broken up by contact from behind.
Truly unbelievable. I have no idea how that doesn't get called.
It wasn't just not a yellow card, which surprised me. I was like, that's got to be at least a yellow. But he didn't even call a foul. Like just nothing. And then it doesn't make sense.
There was one later in the game where SLU got called for essentially the same foul.
That's right. Yeah.
It felt like this game, and we're going to get into it when we talk about Akron's second goal, but it just felt like things started to stack up against the Billikens that they could no longer control.
Including, Zach, the one that you wanted to talk about before, which is...
And we are going to do so.
It was an Akron yellow card that I think you decided should be a red because this was...
this is to paraphrase Mr. Soccer Bill McDermott, this is a red card in any league in the world. Like I said on the Spaces, if you've played FIFA 98 on Sony PlayStation 1, you know this is a red card.
Yeah.
This is a red card.
You had a lot stronger reaction than I did to this in the moment and afterwards. So why don't you break down what's happening here, Zach?
Yeah. So obviously I believe that's Carlos Leatherman is defending the left winger for Akron here. Abinell is kind of waiting to see what action or course of defense that Leatherman's going to take here, and Leatherman ends up shielding the ball so that Abinell can eventually get to it, and this happens. He tried. I mean, bro. Well, look at this. I got to give credit to my girlfriend here, who I showed all of these replays to. By the way, incredible. Look at what happens here.
First chop.
Look at what happens here.
That's already
I
a
didn't
foul.
see this. How did I not see this? So
That's
what I'm saying is that, yes, right. The chop there, that's a yellow.
Yeah.
That is a yellow card. That is unfreaking necessary. And then it doesn't work for him. So then he goes all Cobra Kai on his ass.
Yeah. Now,
what? Like that's a red card. That's I even if he's going for the ball in that second one, to do it after that initial chop is reckless. It's dangerous. That is a red card in any league in the world.
And were you surprised that he didn't call it though? Because from my perspective, I feel like that rose to the level of one, but I never thought he would have given him one.
I certainly would expect a referee to protect the player in that scenario. I mean, Leatherman has his back to the attacker. Like, that's ridiculous. I can't believe that was not given a stiffer penalty.
So we've got the PK stopped, followed by a good 20 minutes almost of just nonsense, chippiness, physicality, things getting out of hand. And then Zach, in the 38th minute, this is where I pretty much was ready to write this game off.
Absolutely. I am right there with you, my brother. This second goal right here felt like a backbreaker in the immediate moment.
After Abinell stops that one, and things are ugly, but you kind of feel like, okay, Slew's got some confidence. But this thing, Zach, it's an accurate corner kick from Tyler Mork.
Go ahead and get it going here.
Yeah, so you've got Tyler Mork, number 16, who is kind of a punk, sends a nice ball in, outswinging
Beautiful goal.
Yeah, right to the head of Matt Dreas. He heads it in. He bounces it. Slew didn't just have the keeper in there. They had Carlos Leatherman, of all people, the shortest guy on the field, on the goal line, and he bounced it in front of Leatherman over his head.
If he still has his old dreadlocks, he saves that.
He would have needed to get up a little bit, I think. It was a really, really well struck ball. But yeah, Zach, it felt like really a backbreaker in that moment.
It did, because it came on the heels of these like injustices, that, quote unquote. They started to stack up, and you start to get it in your head that, like, it's just not going to be the Billikens' day. And I think, like, I had turned the volume off after this goal. I muted it, which is funny because you were telling me about at halftime, and I had people that were there telling me about the way the Akron fans reacted, and we can get into it. But, like, at that point, leading into halftime, I had come to terms with the idea of bowing out in this round. And I was just kind of like, well, it was an unbelievable run. We have a young Billiken team here, and hopefully we can keep them together. But, you have to go on the road. You play. It's another Washington bog of a field situation. This really sucks. It just didn't feel like we got a fair shake at this point. Thankfully, the Billikens weathered the final 7 minutes of the half. But like I said, as the teams go into the locker room, the Akron fans were going wild.
The players were really giving them a lot of energy coming off the field, celebrating, pointing to the fans.
They were jumping on each other.
It very much, like, if you just saw like a 10-second snippet of that as they were coming off the field, you would have thought the game was over. The way, like, the body language was, the way the fans were reacting, it very much felt like this thing is done. We're coming off the field as the victors here. And it was odd, Zach, because it's one thing to show your fans some love, but it's also, like, I thought, like, it was odd from the players, because you normally want to see a little more restraint, right? Like, the game's not over. Like you don't want to do that until the game's over. So I understand hyping up the fans, but the whole tone of it was a little surprising to me.
The Billikens began the second half, I thought, for the most part, on the front foot.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we talked about that in our spaces after the game too. It felt different from the start. And go ahead.
I no, I think and this is my fault because in the notes I didn't finish my thought. So I apologize. But really, like Kalish talked about it with Stu, in the same way we talked about it in the spaces, and not to toot our own horn, but he really wanted his guys to put Akron on the back foot. He recognized what he saw out of his team. And we're going to talk about on the eventual game winning goal, but he wanted his guys to make the Akron Zips cut and react to the Billikens offense and really try to put them on skates and make them cut hard on an increasingly icy field.
Yeah, that's right. That's smart. I mean, and that's exactly, I think, the approach that worked in this first goal, right? Is to kind of catch them off guard a little bit. And in the 50th minute, Kareem Pari sends a ball across the goal mouth, and it deflects off Freddie Kosahase's chest into the net.
First you have this beautiful run by Leatherman.
Yeah, that's right. You do to get it up to Pari. You mean?
Yeah. He gets past his guy, gives it up to Pari, and Pari does this beautiful little stutter step here, gets 27 to bite, and bam, he's gone.
Yeah, getting him to bite was huge. Right. So Pari just gives him just a subtle shoulder to the left, goes to his right after a couple dribbles. And at first I thought it was the SLU player. I think it was O'Neal behind the Akron defender. Because the ball comes in, it pings into the net so fast. I was like, wow, how do you get that angle? And then you realize, oh, that was just straight off the defender's chest. He had kind of 45-degree angle, from between the outside and the baseline there, and it just ricochets right into the net. Unfortunate for the for the Akron player there, but I don't know. I think he was less at fault than the penalty kick taker or the captain of the team who got the red card later. He was trying to get in front of O'Neal is really what it came down to.
Yeah, and I'm curious to get your take on that because honestly, I think there's two schools of thought, and you heard them on the broadcast where they talked about how getting kind of your body in that position is kind of the worst case scenario as a defender. Paris smoked that defender, smokes the ball across the goal. Yeah. And I wonder whether or not SLU would have been able to score had it gotten past the defender. Obviously, Chavi O'Neal's waiting at the far post. I've watched these highlights so many times and listened to these announcers talk about this, and I do wonder whether that defender lets it go. He dummies the ball. Make Chavi make a play on it, put him under the pressure, take the pressure off himself. Chavi's there. He's certainly expecting that ball to be touched by the Zip defender in some way. If the defender dummies it, maybe it catches Chavi off guard. Maybe he doesn't know anything about it and isn't able to get one of his extremities on it.
Maybe, and he had a tough angle, right? Because O'Neal was out, he was past the far post, so he still had a tough angle even if he got that ball. He would have had to settle that and make something of it. I think it would have taken a really perfect strike to do that off a one-timer. But it's just that this defender is on a slick surface, right? So there's that moment's hesitation, and when a ball comes in that fast from Paris, there's that moment's hesitation where, talking about positioning, he's not in the ideal position, right? Like maybe if they're playing on a dry field, he has the ability to kind of get there a little bit quicker, turn a little bit quicker, but he's coming in on pretty icy grass by this point, and the ball came in so fast. I can understand not really being in having your.
He knew nothing about it. He knew nothing about it. But what I do want to talk about next, because we talk about the goals so often, and we do need to 100% worship at the feet of everything Jeremy Abinell in this tournament, and that includes an incredible save about 10 minutes into the second half here. We'll talk about it right here. As Akron plays the ball at the top of the D, they head it down, and it's obvious which way he's going, but I mean, with everything, going on there, it's an incredible save by Avenel. Again, Avenel saves the Billikens.
It's an incredible save, and the timing there is crucial, right? Because there's 28 minutes left on the clock, and less than 30 seconds later is when you have what's essentially the most important play of the rest of the game, and that's when Akron's captain, wearing the armband, gets his boot up to the face of Theo Franca. And
let's look at it.
Yeah, let's take a look at this, because this to me, like immediately, I'm like, this is okay. So, right. So
it happens so fast. And I want to be honest here, because I did not see what happened. Did you see what happened live?
Live, I thought that's a really high boot there. And when Franca went down, I was like, did he get him? And then as soon as they showed the replay, right? So like I was already wondering at that point. And then as soon as they show that replay,
insane.
Where he's got like the flying karate kick, his boot is all the way. His boot's about 6 feet in the air, right?
A lot of karate talk on this episode, Pete.
That's right. And
what decade are we in right now?
It's 1985. Welcome to the dojo. He's got his studs. He's got his studs out. I mean, this is like when you freeze frame it at a good spot here, obviously. But as soon as you saw this replay, there was no doubt. I'm like, that again, to quote Bill McDermott, that's a red card in any league in the world. And I just did not see. I was like, I've the way this game has gone so far, I have kind of numbed myself to the fact that this is probably going to be a yellow.
Yes,
like he's probably going to find. I just convinced myself, and I think I put it on Discord and then text to you. I'm like, this is going to be a yellow. It's an obvious red, but it's going to be a yellow.
The unbelievable thing is that you're doing the same mental gymnastics that they're doing on the broadcast, and you can hear it. Because they're like, there was no intent there.
They were talking about intent. I'm like, dude, intent does not matter in this case.
And then he's like, he could probably get him for being neglectful. I'm like, what is he, a parent?
It was so funny. Is this going to a jury? Like, what? Did Franca file a civil suit? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is studs to a face. This is just like it's.
This should genuinely go to a jury. This is assault.
The case is going to happen next September. It's just going to get dragged out. It's incredible.
Is Rosenblum going to be the defense attorney?
I hope so.
Oh my God! I saw this, and I was like, they're gonna like. I'm sitting there. That's a red. Trying somehow, again. I hope if he's on VAR, he's reading my tweets while he's checking the video.
Yeah, right.
And it just was a clear red card, but I didn't see it happen in real time. And then you get to the replay and you're like, holy shit.
It's terrible. The replay is terrible. In real time, the way Franca went down, I was like, there had to be something there. And the replay is just so immediately obvious. It's a wild challenge. I can't get over that decision.
I wonder how many people in that stadium and watching at home. I knew that was a high boot. Like I didn't see the foul, and I can't imagine many people. Maybe they did. I guess we're watching on semi-pixelated 920p.
Sure.
ESPN Plus feeds.
But I mean, you see, there are hundreds of people right there, right behind.
There are dozens of them,
and so they see this guy, flying through the air. They see Franca go down. They have to go. Like some of them, are going ooh, like they got him. That's
oh God, I lost it. There it is. We're back to the flying boot. But yeah, brutal. I think that's obvious. I think it's obvious there, Pete. The ref made a good call, and I thought throughout this game, like I didn't like the way VAR was used in this game, and I'll talk about that in a bit. The Billikens, however, were owning the possession the rest of the way. Once it went down to 10 men for Akron, what was your, after the red card is shown, what is your mindset for the rest of this game?
My mindset is I want a replay of the Kentucky game, right? Where it was later in the game, they got that red card, and that SLU went up, but it felt inevitable that SLU was going to tie in that one. In this one, it didn't have that feeling of inevitability necessarily, because it was a longer period of time, and SLU was very methodically maintaining possession. Really held the ball, and they got some opportunities in the box, but they just weren't getting those shots. They weren't getting like good shots at the goal. It really took a while for them to start breaking through, Zach. And finally, well, yeah. Let me go to you. Like, what's your vibe at this point? What's your feeling at this point? Because I'm kind of like, all right, we're getting down to 15. We're getting down to 13 here. Like, I'm getting nervous. Like, guys, let's create like this. All of these chances have to create good shots at the goal. To Akron's credit, they did block a lot of shots too.
Yeah, I felt like, I honestly thought when they went down to man, I felt that the Billikens were going to tie. I genuinely felt like they were going to tie. I felt like the game had once we got about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes into post red card play. I was like, the only wild card here is the ice rink.
Yeah.
That is the only thing my butthole was so puckered when the Billiken back line was passing between themselves and when it was going to Abinell. Not because I don't trust those guys, but because I was convinced that the stacked up injustices were going to overload into a slip of some kind, and Akron was going to go the other way and score.
Yeah.
Right. I thought that was the one caveat to the Billikens coming back and winning this game, was whether or not we saw some sort of a replay of, again, what happened in Washington, but with ice, where I believe, if I recall correctly, Billikens made a pass, the ball got stuck in standing water. Washington got the ball, went down and scored.
Yeah.
I imagined in some way where Heckenleibel had the ball, slips, falls, Akron puts the game away. That thankfully did not happen. But what did happen next was a handball, which it involved a long delay. And let's look at that handball now. And I think we have another instance where these announcers don't know what the hell they're talking about.
It was blowing my mind, Zach. Like, I posted on Discord, I was like, guys, the elbow.
Here we are right here. Go ahead. So, no.
I'm like, the elbow is the arm, which is the hand for purposes of the handball, right? Like, because the announcers sure didn't think so. And it was crazy to hear them say this.
But it's another instance of a guy like Chavi O'Neal, a guy like Carlos Leatherman, a guy like who am I missing? Who's the other? Kareem Puri, making dynamic runs through the Akron defense, and like I said, sticks on pucks on net, and Kareem Puri, right? That's Kareem Puri, right? 7. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
So Puri gets the shot. And I mean, I immediately, and this is why I didn't like the way VAR was handled with this official. He refused to make calls, call.
Yeah. He was just like, I'm not going to make the call. I'm just going to run over to the sideline. But immediately when you see this replay, like you saw it live and you're kind of like, the ball hit that defender and went to the ground. And it hit him at a weird angle, right? Like, because that's not what it does if it hits your head or your chest or your leg or something like that. It went up and it just goes down. And it only happens when you've got your arm extended out as if it's hitting the bottom of a table. And to hear the announcers go, well, it's his elbow. And then they started talking about intent again.
Yeah. Did they invoke the tuck rule at one point?
Yeah. I was like, intent. Who cares what the intention is? If your arm is out, your arm's out.
Yeah. Was he bringing his arms down? Was he tucking his arms? Yeah.
And one guy goes, well, it hit the bottom of his elbow. It's the bottom of his elbow. And again, you're just like, it doesn't matter. And then, like, you could hear Akron fans on the broadcast too, like, that's not a hand. It's not his hand. And I was just like, you guys are too good of a soccer program to be this dumb.
No shit. That's another thing is, like, I could not believe how for a program that's such a storied program like Akron could have so many people involved that just don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, I know they're a little more new money when it comes to like successful soccer programs, but like, you've got a recent national title, guys. You know the handball rule. Very weird, but obvious handball, Zach. Obvious.
And you could see the crowd did not like it.
I don't know what
not
took so
one
long.
bit.
Yeah,
not one bit. Yeah, I don't either. Maybe he was. Maybe he needed a snack, man. It was cold. You know what? Honestly, not a snack. Maybe he wanted some hot chocolate. Maybe there was a space heater in the room.
Warm up his hands and feet a little bit.
Yeah. How confident were you though? Watching the long delay while he was in his little TV room.
Well, the things that gave me pause were, number one, he never made a call on the field.
Oh, by the way, let's talk about that too once you're done.
Which I didn't like. I was like, he never made a call on the field, so I don't like that. And number two, it's taking forever. But we're watching this replay going, his elbow is sticking out, parallel with the ground, and it hit his elbow. Like, there's not a lot of ambiguity here. What's taking so long? So those are the only two things that gave me pause, but it was just so clearly a handball in the box. Were you in the same place?
Yeah, I mean, it had to be a handball, but like, again, the injustices. We are. I think every sports fan is conditioned to believe that things are just gonna go poorly for their team. Like, nothing is gonna break the right way. And I was convinced that they would find some reason to not give the handball. Now, one astute observation from the announcers was that the handball call on this same end in the first half, it's precedent, right? It's funny to go back and look at that because Akron fans clamored for that opportunity. Abenel makes the save. If that's not called as a penalty, maybe this doesn't get called as a penalty either.
Maybe, but then it's like we're in the upside down. Like, we're not just calling handballs in boxes anymore. I mean, I wasn't mad. I was not mad that they called Slew for a handball in the box for even
not
a
at all.
Because I was like, that's what happened. That's what happened. I'm mad that it happened. I'm frustrated that it happened. I want to win this game, but I'm not mad at the call. You don't get mad for making the right call.
Pete, does it surprise you in any way, shape, or form that the man stepping up to the spot for the Billikens is Quentin Blair? He is oh, nice. Is he no, he's number 4, QB4.
He's number 4, QB4. That makes him sound like he's a pretty deep.
I know. Well, he's right. He sounds like he's Ryan Leaf. But yeah, let's look at this PK. I mean, Pete, you talked about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
This crab cakes in football, that's what Maryland does. This is how PKs and square pizza. That's what St. Louis does.
This is how you take a penalty kick. You approach decisively. You strike the ball decisively. You have a plan when you strike the ball, and you put it in the side of the net. Like there's no stutter step on an icy field. There's no indecision. There's no like tipping the goalie. He just goes up and buries the thing. He puts an absolute rocket into the upper right corner, and it doesn't matter who the keeper was, and the keeper guessed incorrectly, which is great. It just shows you how well he did it. The fact that he didn't give the keeper anything to work with. But even if the keeper guessed correctly, he didn't have a prayer of touching that ball, let alone stopping it. It was just perfect.
Like, the thing about taking a PK like that is that there's no strategy.
Yeah.
Like, it's anti-strategic penalty. There's zero mind games, zero, like, it's like taking a free throw at that point. It is pure muscle memory. If you can hit that shot every time, and it is effing difficult.
Yeah.
It is a impossible skill to learn, but if you can hit that same shot over and over, that is a goal 100% of the time. If you hit it like that, it is in the back of the net. No keeper in the world is stopping it. Not Petr Cech, I can't think of any other goalkeepers.
Emi Martinez, Oliver Kahn, to use a giant lurking behemoth German goaltender. Iker Casillas.
Patrick Schulte's not saving it.
Schulte's not saving
there's
that one.
There's not a goalie in the world. How about the Billikens' attitude in this one? How much of them being on the road seems to have put an us against the world kind of view here? Watch the way they celebrate. They absolutely love facing up to the fans and just giving them the business. Look at this. I love this.
Yeah. Come on. Let's go. So he picks up the ball out of the net. The whole team, they're waving their hands. But I love that too, Zach, because he's acknowledging 12 minutes and we still have a man advantage. Let's go get this. We're not done. We want to win this in regulation. That's why I love him picking up the ball there more than, doing the little hand wags to the fan or whatever. But Quentin Blair, Zach, is a fifth-year player. He's the transfer from Loyola.
How is Loyola feeling right now with that?
Oh, man. Solid central defense all season long. I love that PK is the sign of like a true veteran right there. That's how he took it.
I want to talk about a note that we saw in Stu on Slew's Substack about this final play, the game-winning goal. Before we get to the video, I want to talk about the idea that Jack Roberts calls, the assistant coach for the Billikens, Jack Roberts, calls a short corner here. And you and I on this show ad nauseum have said short corners in college soccer, there is not enough skill on any team in the country to run a short corner with any sort of high success rate, in my opinion. And there is not enough skill on the defensive end to do anything other than to make them try to defend.
That's right.
Throw the ball in the air and make a bad defense again, the skill is just not there, in my opinion, in college soccer to run a short corner, whether that be on the off. There's not enough skill on the offensive end to make it happen. And there's not enough. There's the defenders are not good enough to, they're not that good that you want to give them that much credit.
Sure.
To run a short corner.
Especially like you're playing on an icy field now, right? So like there's an even higher variability when you just put a ball into the box.
But however, we did talk about the dynamic attack of guys like Xavi, like Leatherman, like Paris. And that was the thinking here, is that you put the ball in, you play it on the ground, you attack on the ground, make a guy like 1-7, who we're going to see here, defend and make cuts reacting to the Billiken attack. And maybe they slide, maybe they fall, make them make a mistake that ends up with a Billiken goal. And that's exactly what happens here. And it was beautifully worked.
Yeah, Di Maria's the corner kick taker, right? And we've seen
which is a great kind of a
like a decoy.
A decoy, yes. Because if Jack Di Maria's taken the free kick or a corner kick, certainly you're expecting it to go into the box.
Yeah,
but no,
because he's so good with his service.
Right.
So he gives this little short ball to Heckenleibel, who takes a touch toward goal and then goes down to the end line at full tilt. Burns the defender. There's a second defender who has to come out and pick him up. But by the time the second guy gets there, Heckenleibel has already sent the ball across. And you get Tanner Anderson, who gives the perfect little flick of his
not
leg.
even just a redirection. The old hockey redirection.
Just to redirect. And Heckenleibel was going so fast and sent the ball in as such a dart that he just needed to get the right angle on it. And then you even had another SLU player there waiting for a potential rebound. You know, if that goes off the post.
Franca.
Is Franca number 4?
No, Franca's right
number
here.
8.
Yeah,
you've got number 4 who we
that
just
was
said is,
who do you?
is Blair.
That's QB.
Yeah, that's Blair. So he's there at the other side of the goal if anything gets through. This was so sharp. It was so well drawn up, and Akron seemed completely unprepared for this play.
This is my favorite guy right here. The old just maybe
offside.
No, okay. Hold on. Watch how sad. Watch how sad he puts his arm down here. I'm just sad. Very sad. 3 and down.
Yeah, guys, just me.
No. Did anybody else see that? He was definitely offside, right? But I can't say enough about the celebration here too. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes.
This one did, Zach, because this was the moment where I was like, oh, they did it. They did it. Like, they actually just did this thing. The clock is stopped. There's 3 minutes. But I'm just like, 3 minutes. Yeah, like that's more time than you want right now. But like, there's no way. There's no way they're going to give up a goal now.
Look at this though. Like I remember Cristo scoring a goal to send us into, I think, the second round a number of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there with a bunch of my buddies that were on the team prior that had just graduated. And this was the same celebration. We were all there right on the line, and Cristo scores and comes over and celebrates with everybody. Like, this is a special moment. These are students right here. That's a student. No, that's a player. This is a student. That's a student. They got the matching like scarves. Like these were given to them on the way up.
Appears to be the giveaway on the bus, which is great.
Yes.
By the way, they look fantastic.
Well, you had to have something to identify you, right? Like you have to dress up like the kid from A Christmas Story.
Yeah,
can't move my arms.
Which was filmed not too far from this field.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
Cleveland
that makes sense.
Area.
But I mean, like, you've got Jordan Eisler there, by the way, wearing pants. He finally succumbed to the cold.
Yeah.
Just an unbelievable. I mean, like, that is and to quote Bill McDermott, we're going to do a lot of it. That is a world-class goal.
The finish was so crafty. But like all 3 of those guys, from Di Maria to Heckenleibel to Anderson, like everything they did was just so crafty. I can't say how impressed I am with this play. I think this was the best executed individual play they had all season long. It was just incredible.
And watching, and you saw Jordan Eisler there capturing the moment. Go over to the Instagram. Go over to the Billiken Soccer Instagram, SLU Men's Soccer. The video of him, this celebration is just beautiful, well captured by Jordan. Johnny on the spot, as always. Just a beautiful, watch this. I mean, it's just the celebration, hey, let me hear you. Can't hear you.
Let me hear you. Yep. Staring down the barrel of the camera lens. Yeah.
Yes. It's just unbelievable. And now right on the stroke of 87th minute.
Yep. And now we've got 3 minutes to kill, Zach. And
let me
guess, are you puckered?
What percentage is your butthole puckered at this point?
It's a full 100 at this point. You can barely breathe these last 3 minutes. Just a really, I don't want to say it was like, it's edge of your seat just because of how much time there is. They did have one build up that was a little bit threatening in this last 3 minutes. And that's the one that kind of had me nervous.
It was, I thought my biggest moment of the last 3 minutes Was trying to watch the game through the tears in my eyes. That was really tough.
Yeah.
But with just over a minute left here, this is where I got puckered.
Yeah.
Akron's keeper is off his line. Di Maria has an empty net. He plays the ball a low, slung, kind of bouncy, like you'd want it in a kickball game. And at that moment, when it hit the post, I had flashbacks to watching D3, the Mighty Ducks, when Charlie tries to salt away a win against the Billiken Freshman Bears with an empty net goal. And it comes up short. And you know what happens next? The Bears come down and tie the game at 9 at the buzzer. And I saw that ran through my head.
I can't say that specific thing ran through my head, but the possibility that they collect that rebound and they still have a minute, right? They still have a minute to go down there. And you're like, one more chance. That's all.
And they have nothing to lose, and they are going to attack you. And now we've already talked about defending a quick attack is a little bit tougher on that field. And I wonder if one side was more slick than the other.
And the other thing that really made me nervous, Zach, is the possibility of like a foul that set up a really nice set piece or something like that. Like that's what I was really afraid of here. I knew they were going to throw everything forward and try and get some chaos, but I was like, don't anyone do anything stupid. Just kill this last minute. And luckily, man, they did.
Where were your emotions at here? Because I had to go out and check with my neighbor. Well, I didn't have to check with them. I happened to leave to go. I decided that it would be a good idea to go to Humphreys for a celebratory beer. So I did that. So I left the house, and as I'm walking out to my car, I go, "Hey, Shirley, we'll call her Shirley for the purposes here." It's like, "Shirley, you couldn't hear me yelling, could you?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Oh, thank God." Yeah. Because I was going through some stuff.
It hit me all at once. Like, oh my God, a SLU team just made a Final Four, and it wasn't just like, oh, it's men's soccer or whatever. It was just like SLU is in a Final Four. Like that, yes. that hit me. I stood up from my couch. I'm like, yeah, getting choked up. And then like my wife walks in the door and like my kids like started like yelling something from the playroom and like just
shut up.
Reality, like I was in my own little bubble and reality just all came back at once, and it was and so that was just like I was like SLU just won, and no one everyone's just kind of looking at me like, what are you talking about? Like so
did you have non-household members walking through the door at that point?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, I just had to. Because that would be ultra. That would be one of those moments where you look like a loser.
Yes, that has.
I mean, I'm familiar, with that feeling. But it was, man, I sobbed. I'm not gonna lie. It was, it was an emotionally draining. And I went to when I went to Humphreys, I got to shout out the bartender there, by the way. Sweet. A young student, but she was we were talking, I was asking kind of how like everything was there and what the atmosphere was like. She was like, it was amazing, and they win, and she's like, I don't know, like I start kind of welling up and like, should I be this emotional? And I'm like, God damn right you should be that emotional. Yeah. Like it was crazy. It's crazy. I didn't like, I just didn't think it was gonna happen.
It was just how dramatic it was, right? Like after that first half, and you're already like, oh man, yeah, well, an Elite Eight is solid. It's a good season. They probably outperformed expectations. Blah blah blah. Like I'm already trying to put the season into context. We've got a lot of young talent. I'm thinking through all of that kind of stuff. But then as soon as we get that first goal, you're kind of like, okay, all right, it's not over. I'm still in it. And so the fact that it was just, it's that late second goal and then the late game winner, it was so dramatic. It's just so dramatic. So it wasn't just that they won. It was the way the whole game went. Just incredible. So I think any sort of reaction is completely valid to this one.
The shots in this one were 16-8 Billikens. Pete, what was it? What were the shots at halftime?
So this is what's funny, Zach. Shots were 6-1 Akron at halftime. So I just put just to put how stark it is to lose a man, right? You
yes.
go up.
Oh, is that a bad thing? Is that bad?
It's one of those things is not good, but then it's just like, oh, we just don't get shots. Once that happens, we don't get another shot, and they get all the shots. And so it's just, straight red cards are a bad idea. Shots on goal were 6-4.
So were 2 yellows.
Corners were 4-3 in SLU's favor, and fouls 12-9. SLU had more. But the Akron fans afterwards, Zach, were so mad. You were picking up on
They were incensed.
Some profanities at SLU at the
You know what? Fine. Hey, look, I'm going to say this. The Billikens deserve every amount of celebration they could. They have earned everything they do in that celebration. I will say there may have been at least one Billiken player that went a bit out of pocket and went straight to taunt a Zip player. And that is what kicked off the shoving match there at the end.
Yeah, there was some shoving.
And look, I'm not defending him. I think it was not a good idea. I would have probably done the same thing because I am a poor sport. But at the end of the day, you got to remember that half of this team can't even get into Humphreys right now legally.
Yeah.
There are going to be some very elevated emotional moments, and certainly reaching damn near the pinnacle of your collegiate soccer career. Man, I don't know how I would react. I know how I reacted yesterday as a fan who had nothing to do with them making the Final Four. I just can't even imagine being in that moment.
Yeah, truly. Emotions run high. This team is, like we said before, they talk trash with the best of them, but you certainly don't want to cross any lines there. The thing I was really afraid of was picking up one of those 90th minute cards that carries into the next game. Right?
Do they carry over? I don't know if they move into the Final Four. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I feel like soccer has kind of slowly gone away from cards that carry over into more importanter matches.
Okay, well that's possible, but it's one of the things that crossed my mind.
If one of the if our fellow MBMs out there know the answer to that question, drop it in the comment below. What did you think about just how kind of hard done the Akron fans felt they were in this one? Because honestly, I thought the Billikens got it worst for that first half, and then everything in the second half seemed to be fairly above board.
Yeah, I mean, so I was trying to think back through that, and all I could think was just the fact that there were multiple big calls that went our way, and then the other thing I thought was just that fans don't have the gift of replay. So if they didn't have an angle on that handball, if they didn't have an angle on that red card, and then they it's followed by VAR and going our way, I can understand being frustrated by that, but there was nothing went our way. I thought that was lucky. That was maybe unjustified, anything like that. There was stuff that went Akron's way in the first half that I think was certainly very favorable in a way that I don't think any of the favorable calls for SLU were, right? It was all of our favorable calls were justified. They were the right call. Yeah. So I think that's the difference. But nobody's remembering the first half,
But besides this tournament, I'll finish my thought on VAR, and then I'll go into kind of what I hope comes out of this continuous road warrior run as far as the future for Billiken soccer outside past this season, no matter where it goes. Because obviously, I think reaching the Final Four means you deserve some shit.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve some shit. Some new shit. But I'm certainly glad that the official used VAR and used it to get the calls correct, and he did get them correct when he did go. But the ref seemed to like just stop play. Like it was almost like a ref just being like, "Hold on, jump ball, guys, stop the bat. Hold on, whistle. Wait a minute, I need to go check the monitor because I missed that what just happened." Yeah. And that just does not feel like a good way to run VAR.
No, the thing that I was thinking is just like, and I don't know fully the rule about it, but like it's like what I couldn't understand is why he wasn't always making calls in the moment. Like he would just stop it.
I didn't think that was possible.
And then run over and do VAR. And it was like, well, no matter what you call, you can either confirm it or overturn it. In the NFL, it's sort of like, well, you want to go ahead and make the call and then go review to overturn it because making the call is what gives you license to go review it.
Yes.
So I understand that. But in soccer, it's like you can review at his discretion. So just make the call in the moment that you saw. And because my hunch was he saw things mostly correctly. I just wish he would have said in the moment, it was a handball. It was a red card. And then he goes over there and goes, yes, upon further review, yes.
It's like my girlfriend's 8-year-old who asks me how to spell things. Yeah. And I'm like, just spell it how you think it's spelled and then show it to me and then I'll help you from there. Like yes. It's very much like, show me that you have confidence in yourself.
Yeah. Right.
Have some confidence in yourself. You got this. You know how to spell. Mm-hmm. You know how to be an official here. Right. So it was odd, but to talk about like this run, obviously the Billikens went to Indiana. I don't think Indiana has the best facility. I really don't. It's beautiful. That facility on the other side of the field, that building, beautiful. It's essentially what the building is at the on the what is that? The West Pine end of the field.
Yeah.
Or the Laclede end of the field, right? The Laclede end of the field.
The West Pine would be the walkway.
Yes. So, you go to Akron, you go to Bryant, and those have beautiful facilities. They have amenities for the players, and they have better amenities for the fans. And what I hope comes out of this is that SLU looks at the amenities that are provided at those stadiums and brings them to Herman, because there are so many places to put in seating or put in chair backs to make Herman Stadium that much more comfortable for Billiken fans. There are times where I will absolutely I will go down to Cary, North Carolina. It is going to be damn near freezing at kickoff on Friday night. I will go down to Cary because I know they have chair back seats at Wake Med Park. If it's damn near freezing and I got to go sit on metal bleachers, like my back's going to feel like shit the next day too, and I'm going to freeze. Like that's a tough call for me. Imagine a normie.
Yeah.
Like, so what I hope comes from this is I hope the athletic department sees what these features are that can be brought to Herman Stadium and improve on an already beautiful facility, an already top-notch soccer facility. Let's turn it into a top-notch soccer spectating facility.
Yeah.
To go along with it. Because Kevin Kalish, Kevin Stoll, Jack Roberts, Carlos Tofren, Constantine Heater, this entire roster, all the guys coming back, every guy that came before deserved to come and watch a game in a comfortable soccer facility, because they have brought this program to this point.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is what I hope comes from this. What I know has come from this is that the Billikens will be headed to the College Cup, that is the soccer Final Four, in Cary, North Carolina. They'll be playing Friday the 12th in the semifinals against number 15 seed North Carolina State.
Yeah, they're pretty good, Zach. They beat 7 seed Georgetown 3-2 on Saturday. The Wolfpack went 15-2-4 this season, with their only losses coming to Virginia in the regular season and Syracuse in the ACC tournament. Before Georgetown, they beat Marshall and UNC Greensboro, neither of which were seeded. They beat both of them 2-0. Georgetown was that 3-2 win. One guy, Donovan Phillips, has scored 17 goals for them this season and has just 2 assists, by the way. No one else on the team has more than 5
Selfish
goals.
bastard.
I mean, he's the guy. He's second in the nation in scoring. He's tops among players still in the tournament, unsurprisingly. As a team, NC State, listen to this, Zach. NC State tied for first in the country in goal differential, first in shootout percentage, 750, first in team goals against average, which is 350, first in goals allowed, 7. They've allowed 7 goals all season. Second in shots per game, third in shots on goal per game, tied for 9th in total goals, and 11th in goals per game. So they're a very, very good team offensively, but they're arguably best in the country defensively in terms of just not conceding goals. They've outscored 44-7 on the season. Really impressive.
They are, you would say they are unbelievable against the puck line when favored by 1.5 goals. They are averaging 1.54 goals. They are winning games by an average of 1.54 goals a game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So pretty incredible stuff, man. I wonder what that looks like when you average it out over the number. I'm assuming that would just be a wash, and they would probably lead in that category. I don't know.
It's a good question. I really don't know.
Unbelievable. Excited to get down to Cary, North Carolina, though, Pete.
Yeah, you're going to be traveling, doing a little boots on the ground reporting for us, Zach. I'm excited to hear your experience, what it's like. What are the rough details of your trip? When you getting in, coming home, all that stuff? Yeah,
I'm flying in 7 a.m. I'm leaving 7 a.m. Friday morning, getting there around noon. I did change my flight. I had it right after we won. I realized that we may be playing at like 5:30 in the afternoon. My flight was going to get in at like 3, and I was just not going to take that risk. So moved it to noon, grabbed a hotel, La Quinta Inn in Cary, North Carolina. Cary Raleigh, I think, or Cary. I don't know. I'm like 15 minutes from the airport, like I think 10 minutes from the stadium. Looked into the Billikens are going to play basketball is going to play Saturday night, but I may go check out NC State playing Kansas. The tickets weren't awful. And so NC State plays KU. North Carolina plays SC Upstate, and there's really no point in looking to see if Duke's playing at home, because if they're playing at home, I can't afford to go.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller arena. I went when SLU played there back in 2010.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I watched that at Humphreys. That's when I stopped going to. I think after, I don't know if that was the last time, but like I really stopped going to watch parties. I just it's not like a superstition thing. Like I think superstition is ego driven unless you're a player or coach, unless you're actually involved in the game, in which case you want to keep things the same because like, you don't want to think about all the things other than the game. Right. Like, I think that's the real crux of superstition. I just don't want to be in a place around people and watch see a team like they always see. If I make a big deal about it and they lose, it's like I try not to make a big deal out of the Billiken games, because if they lose, like it's emotionally more draining on me, which is probably juvenile in a lot of ways. But but yeah, I'm plan on getting down there, going for a run, getting to whatever party is being had. I'm sure there's going to be a meetup pre-game. Hopefully, we'll see about that, and hopefully the Billikens win. I haven't decided, and I don't really want to decide. I'll be there as long as the Billikens win. I will be there on Monday night if they're in the final. So, couldn't be more excited. Haven't been to North Carolina before. Home of the famous Jet Jackson. If you remember that show on Disney, that was a little too late for you. Yeah. R.I.P. Lee Thompson Young. Anyway.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, I've only been to the Raleigh-Durham area for that game that weekend. But it's cool. We stayed in Durham. I thought Durham was a cool town. Didn't really spend any time in Raleigh. We flew in and out of there, obviously, but yeah, excited to hear all about the trip, and hopefully you can bring us home a winner, Zach.
That's the plan. Although it's not going to be on me, my guy. It's not on me. As much as I'd love it to be on me, man, it's yeah, I don't know what to expect. Like I may not financially recover from the buying of swag. Like first of all, the donations that we get is not going to go to my swag. I promise you that. That is coming out of my own pocket. But
it's going straight to your journalism.
Yes, it is going straight to the Big J. No, we're not media, Pete. We're not media. Wait, I shouldn't say that if I'm going to try to. Never mind. Let's move on, Pete. I don't want to move on though. I really don't. I just want to sit here and talk soccer.
Do you realize it's been an hour and a half already?
Oh shit.
An hour and a half. And we haven't said the words men's basketball yet. So
let's get right. Let's get right into it.
It's 10:30 Eastern as we record, and we've got a lot of basketball to talk about.
Pete, let's get into men's basketball. By the way, sorry for the continuity error. It's got hot in MMPHQ studio. Let's start off with just an absolute laugher. Finally, we haven't had one of these in God knows how long, Pete, but it's a 107-65 win against Central Michigan on Sunday the 7th. We're going to go in reverse order just because this game was as great as it was, and it just seems like the right thing to do. Pete, there were new uniforms. What did you think?
Yeah, Zach. I didn't have a very strong reaction at first, but then over the course of the game, when it became clear that the names on the back of the jerseys were in different sizes, that really bothered me.
I thought I was seeing things.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, so you were there. I guess they played a little bit. You got a little bit better look at them. On TV, they look fine. I don't like a small font on name sizes for TV purposes. But overall, I got to say, I kind of like just the other ones better. I like the regular ones better. The kind of, the gradient on the piping on the side, I don't love that. I thought it was a little too busy.
I definitely said they were busier. That was my first reaction. I was surprised that they were busier because, since Travis Ford left, I think the jerseys have been trending simpler and cleaner.
Yeah, that's right. Which is my preference.
This felt, I will say, I kind of viewed this as maybe a changing towards the Billikens being a primary focus for Nike. Obviously, the names being in the wrong sized font on some of the jerseys kind of puts that argument to bed a little bit. It certainly pokes holes in it. But the font size was frustrating because I thought the jerseys grew on me as the game progressed, but maybe it was the way the Billikens were playing and putting it on Central Michigan. I mean, the good vibes. Yes, the good vibes. I thought it was interesting because that it had that solid stripe and then the gradient. It was almost like someone they had the gradient jerseys and then someone took a piece of blue ribbon and just sewed it down the side of the jersey. But I liked that. I actually kind of liked that like weird solids versus gradient. I kind of thought that was an interesting juxtaposition, and I thought the font on the numbers looked great. I loved that font. I thought it was really good. The names, I thought the font was good if they had been in the right size. I think what is it? Wheel STL in the Discord said send them back. Not kidding. And I kind of agree. Like, I mean, we have great jerseys already. It's not like we don't have, jerseys. But it's this is the second time now that the SLU has had an issue with jerseys. You had men's soccer not getting their jerseys on time, and now men's basketball. What the hell's going on in Nike? Are we looking at just like supply chain issues, or I mean, what's going on?
No idea what's going on there, but yeah, I don't know. Normally, I'm not a fan of the gradient. I thought they looked okay on TV, but you know, I don't know.
Are basketball shorts getting longer again? Are we seeing a correction in the force?
I don't know,
because they looked longer. Our guys are wearing them longer.
They definitely got we're past the peak shortness of this generation. I don't think we're going to get back to where we were in the mid-aughts.
The Nike system of dress.
Yeah, the very, very baggy, low shorts. I don't think we're going to get all the way back there. I'm fine with where they are now.
Thank God. I loved it, but it was just hilarious because they had super tight shirts.
Yes.
And then the most baggy shorts you've ever seen in your life. It was just a very funny, very funny look.
A dress-like cut.
Yes. Central Michigan entered this season, Pete, with an entirely new roster.
Yeah, no returners at all, 15 new players. And it sounded like, Zach, that our good friend Colin Surrey on the broadcast mentioned that they had a handful of lower division transfers, including NAIA.
Yes. Yeah, he did mention that. I don't really remember exactly where he mentioned that. And maybe that was the women's basketball game. I don't know. There's so much happening this week. This game couldn't have started much better, Pete.
No, so we got off to a 5-5 tie at about 2.5 minutes in, and then SLU proceeded to go on a 20-point run and really didn't look back from there. 20 was also the margin at halftime, 52-32. And the way I was looking at it at half, Zach, is with that 20-point margin, you just want to see it grow, right? Like the mentality has to be, don't let up, just keep stringing good possessions together. It's not, we've got this. Let's just not get hurt and play safe. I really like the don't let up mentality. One way to do that, you can break it up into segments every TV timeout and try and win that for approximately 4-minute chunk, right? So just keep winning those, and even if you're up 1 or 2 each one of those, you're still growing that margin to something like 30 or more points by the end of the game, and that's where you want to be. But whatever SLU did, it worked. They more than doubled that 20-point lead when it was all said and done, and that included some decent minutes for freshmen and walk-ons. I really, at halftime, you just wanted to see it grow. I had no idea that they were going to grow this thing to 42 points, Zach.
Yeah, especially, I feel like they haven't really shown the ability to yet either. So I think that kind of tempered my expectations of what was going to happen. And especially when they brought in, and we're going to talk about it later, when they brought in Hudson and Kerr. I really thought it was going to kind of slow down and we were going to win by like 17 or 18. But the Billikens dominated.
Which we've seen before this season, to be fair. That wasn't out of nowhere. Yeah.
Right. But the Billikens just dominated. Wire to wire, every guy on this roster, save for maybe Jaden and Isaac, which sounds like 2 of 5 guys from a Gen Alpha boy band, Jaden and Isaac. That's a new duo. The new musical duo from Sony Records, Jaden and Isaac. Talk about this offensive efficiency, because this is pretty incredible.
According to Stu Durando, SLU played the program's most offensively efficient game in the history of KenPom analytics, going back to 1997. SLU scored 1.597 points per possession, which is absolutely incredible. I think people were saying like leading up to that, Matt Rocchio and others were like, this has to be the most efficient game in SLU history, and but of course it's been almost 30 years since the most efficient game. Really, really incredible. I think they had 107 points in 69 possessions. Just amazing efficiency. And
I would love to know. So I would love to know what the last game was that was that high. Like what did it beat
Yeah.
to be for efficiency? I'm just too lazy to go find it.
TBD. Yeah,
TBD.
wouldn't make the best radio, but they went 11 of 29 from three, Zach, which is 38%, which is good. It's fine, but imagine if that were even higher, right? But really, what they did was inside 29 of 40 inside the arc for 58 points in the paint. Really incredible efficiency inside. They only turned it over 4 times,
That's
plus
insane.
12. 4 times is such a good number for this team, for any team, but really for this team based on the early season so far. Plus 12 on points off turnovers. They got 51 bench points, 25 fast break points. A lot of those were early. They out rebounded the Chips by 14, and they were plus 11 on second chance points. I didn't think Central Michigan could stop them in their man-to-man or their zone. It didn't matter what defense they threw up with them. And then I thought SLU was just toying with them in transition, Zach. And transition is really the most fun part of this game because that leads us to a very special player who had a very special game.
That Kellen Thames, man, it's one of the most beautiful parts of this season is just watching Kellen Thames play at a level that I don't know if anybody, a year ago thought would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, given his health history and just kind of what an enigma he's been, he's an absolute blast.
Kellen Thames and McCautry got out on the fast break. It was a 2-on-2 in the first half. McCautry lobs the ball back to a trailing. It was like a rugby trail, just barely enough that it was like a lateral.
Mm-hmm.
But Thames threw down a monster two-handed dunk. I got to ask you, Pete, do you think like when Thames catches a body like he did, does he have to get a tear tattoo for that? Like he killed a guy. He took that man's soul.
He absolutely did. He did it. It was two-handed. He threw his whole body into it. The guy was on the floor, and then Thames kind of stared down at him afterwards. He pulled up just in the nick of time not to get himself a technical foul. He didn't do anything, in terms of gestures or screaming or anything like that. But he definitely gave the guy a good stare down at the end of it, which I think was fully deserved because, as you said, he removed from body.
It was a tribute to Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa from Mortal Kombat. Your soul is mine.
I didn't know where you were going with that at all.
Yeah, R.I.P. in peace. R.I.P. in peace, Johnny Tsunami. All right.
Oh yeah, from Mortal Kombat. I saw that.
Yeah.
But this wasn't even the only alley-oop that these two had in the game. I mean, they had another one.
There were a record number of alley-oops in this game. Mm-hmm. This was the most alley-oops I've ever seen in Chaffetz in one game. This was the most alley-oops that I've seen in Chaffetz an entire season.
It was crazy, Zach. It was crazy. We had entire seasons that did not have as many dunks as we had today.
One dunk. We had entire seasons that did not have a single dunk.
It's a new era in Billiken basketball. But I thought it was just amazing the way that these two connected. But really, Thames' stat line is crazy, Zach, because he ended up with 17 points on 6 of 6 from the field in just 15 minutes and went plus 13 in the process. 17 points in 15 minutes.
Is that good?
Incredible.
Is that good?
2 rebounds, 2 steals, an assist. I mean,
is that good?
Fantastic. I think the efficiency, but what I love about this analytical approach to basketball, Zach, that these guys have is the emphasis on high percentage shots. One of the thoughts I had during this game is how many years of Billiken basketball where you'd see our bigs just try and lay everything in, and it's all I've always been of the mentality like, if you can dunk it, dunk it. Like don't put any air between your fingertips and the rim. Just put the ball in the net. And so like it forces these guys to give themselves the highest percentage shots possible, and that means dunking everything they can.
And I want to get to the dunks and the to put them in perspective. We've seen a lot of dunks in transition. We've seen a lot of dunks on the fast break.
Yeah.
But how, I can count on one hand in the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years that we've seen dunks in a half court set.
Right. Right.
And maybe I'm exaggerating, but my point is that I've never seen dunks in a half court set like I have under Josh Shirts in this. This game specifically was insane.
The first one that comes to mind is Robbie backdoor, Quentin Jones backdoor cut, Robbie bounce pass. He's all alone, easy dunk. That's the kind of stuff that you can do when you've got Robbie as the trigger man and all of these talented guards and wings. So you're right. You're getting a lot of highlights just out of half court sets.
Did you say Quentin Jones?
I did. I think he was our leading scorer today, wasn't he?
Yeah, 19 points. He found his 3-point range in this one.
He did. And basically everybody not named Trey Green was struggling to find a shot, but Jones was 4 of 6 from 3 in this game. Fully rediscovered that shot. He was aggressive offensively too. The last 2 games have probably been his best of the season. He had 16 the game before, 19 today. He was plus 23 for the game. And afterwards, he said he's really coming into his own and really getting comfortable. And I had typed up something like that in the notes and couldn't quite find the way to say it. But my point was, we're watching another player kind of click into place and go, because he's been up and down in the early going this season. And then the last couple games, you're seeing okay, he's really figured this out. His turnovers are way down. Now we saw his shot show up today. This is the Quentin Jones that we saw in that scrimmage this summer, where he really showed a lot more of that potential.
This team is like when Ben Gates is in the Oval Office at the Resolute desk and he's solving the puzzle. This team, just things keep clicking. He moves a piece, you see the mechanism click. That's what we're watching with this team game in and game out, because you saw a couple guys in those first few games show their stripes. Robbie Avila, we know what he brings. We saw Dion Brown show what he has. Trey Green starts to come into his own. Now you've got Dion Brown. McCautry, he showed a lot early. He's kind of fallen off here as others have stepped up, but in this one, he had a nice bounce back game.
Yeah, I think you're right. We were all I remember on Discord, we kind of had the conversation. McCautry did not have a good California trip, at all. The last 2 games, his last week, not good. And then I remember saying, look, he has the month of December to figure it out, because we've got a series of games we're supposed to win. I'll put it nicely. So he's got a lot of get right opportunities. And so today you see, yesterday as we released this, but 13 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He had the triple nickel in the first half, 3 steals, tied for second on the team at plus 23 in his plus minus for the game. And I think most importantly, Zach, 0 turnovers. That's the one for me. That's usually the best indicator of a good or a bad Amari game, right?
Yes, this was a game where Amari was driving and had awareness of his options and wasn't just Zlatan Ibrahimovic head down going to goal.
That's right.
So I loved what I saw out of him today. Again, he in our comment section, they mentioned McCautry was a big time point guard coming out of Wisconsin. So showing off that versatility, he was outstanding tonight. Pete, I read through the entire notes here, and I had a joke that I started to write at the end of this review, and then only to find Robbie Avila's name mentioned, and it's literally 2 lines. It's less than half of a tweet. It is an original Twitter tweet length. Okay. On Robbie Avila. This is all we're talking about Robbie Avila, because he only played 19 minutes.
he didn't need to do more, right? Like things are going well when he only needs to play 19 minutes.
If how many Billiken fans looked at the box score that they didn't go to the game, they didn't get to listen to it, they didn't get to watch it. They look at the box score. Robbie Avila plays 19 minutes. Oh shit! Did he hurt himself again?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, no, he's getting a little time to relax this season. And yeah, so he only needed, so who was it who tweeted out? Was it Stu or somebody like that who said he might not even play 20 minutes today. He
I
played
said
19.
that. That was me.
Was that you? Okay.
Yes.
And then he ended up with 6, 4, and 5, 0 turnovers, and he still managed to go plus 22. I always love when the plus minus exceeds the amount of minutes played. That's a good indication. So he's always been our leader in that. Yeah, no turnovers either. I thought he was fine in this game, Zach. We just didn't need more out of him.
He was effective. He had a really, like you said, nice outing. Like you said, wasn't needed. He obviously is an outside shot to win the Wooden Award. Like you look at the odds to win it, I think he's like plus 2,500 or so 25,000 maybe. Yeah. It's a long shot, but it almost feels like this team is too good and not relying on him nearly enough to get him any individual awards. Yeah, which says a lot about his character.
Generally, those awards aren't going to the guys who play in the low 20s minutes per game. You know, like it's going to be a guy who plays 30 something minutes per game. It's just like it's just how it goes. But Robbie's an unselfish guy. I think that's kind of the character of this team, is to just understand, like, we're deep. Let's, everybody, when you're out there, you're going full tilt, but you're not going to get mad about your minutes because they're going to keep you closer to 20.
And you get to watch us kick the living shit out of another team.
Yeah.
I don't know why there are not guys who are definitely not going to go to the NBA. Like if you're not going to the NBA, you can get to Europe without having a sick college highlight reel. Mm-hmm. Like you can get to Europe. Like if you I don't know why more players don't just go on good team. Like just be depth pieces. Enjoy a wonderful season. Like that. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe that's like a lack of ambition on my part. But I'd love to be on a great team and be a decent role player playing 10 minutes a game.
You need the right guys. You need the right mix of players. You need the right character. Everybody has to buy in. And I think one of the guys who've really bought in this season, and we're seeing it more and more, is Trey Green. And it's funny, Zach, because coming off of 2 really big scoring performances, this is another game where it's like we just didn't need more out of him, right? Trey Green scores 5 points and still leads SLU in plus minus plus 27 in 24 minutes, despite scoring 5 points. 5 rebounds for the shortest guy on the floor, 4 assists, 3 steals. He was doing everything except shooting at volume because he didn't need to. He went 1 of 2 from 3, which is fine, 50%.
And we didn't get to see him do his little backspin pass to himself that he does.
No, we didn't see that in this game.
And I wanted to do a video study on it. I also didn't think we were going to the Final Four in soccer, so we're running out of time here. I think what you're going to see is Billiken. When the Billikens are playing a team, they are going to blow out. I think there are 2 options. The first option is that the Billikens realize very quickly who the other team is trying to stop, and the players that they're going to let get theirs, because that's going to be the bargain that a lot of teams are going to have to take. Sure. Is that if the Billikens can identify who's going to be available and whether that player is having a good game, those are going to be the games that we are going to blow teams out wire to wire. That's right. From there, if that's not the case, those are going to be the games where we blow them out in the second half. Mm-hmm. And the lead really expands. It's crazy. This team has so many weapons, so many options. Everybody on this team believes in this team.
Yeah, totally. Ishan Sharma, Zach, started 0 for 5.
That's 3 Sean Sharma. Shout out Colin. Sorry for co-opting. 3 Sean Sharma.
That's right. He started 0 for 5 from three, but then hit two of his last three, added 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Bit of a shooting slump, but not worried about him over here. He's just a he'll find it. He started to find it at the end there. He's just got to keep shooting. Brady Dunlop kind of had the reverse, hit his first 3-point attempt and then missed his next four, but he did have two steals and a dunk in addition to that, which was good.
I mean, I think these two guys are going to be the ones where, and I don't think this is any sort of amazing analysis. I think it's kind of obvious is that if you send them out there and they make a couple threes, then you keep feeding them. If they go out there and they miss their first two threes, then you see if the other one has it, right?
Yeah.
And if both of them have it, holy shit, look out. But only one of them really had it in this one. The point spread though in this game gave guys like Dunlap and Threeshawn a chance to shoot themselves back into a rhythm and back into a kind of a heated up state. So, I mean, let these guys shoot. I really like in a game like this, I'd rather if them shooting 15 threes helps them get ready for the next game, I'd gladly only win this game by 25-20.
That's fair. I think that's right. And that'll probably be true most of this month, Zach.
I say that, but I'm probably lying. I would rather them win by like 40, but no.
Paul Otieno, another guy who shot a three today, ended up with 8 and 5. And I thought he was solid.
Yeah. His strength, solid. Have you seen him?
Yes. That kind of solid.
Yes. His strength was prominently on display in this one. There was a moment where I don't remember if he got it off a rebound or if the ball got fed inside to him, but he just powered through 3 Chippewas. By the way, that sounds terrible saying that. 3 Chippewas to finally score the ball. So that was, I mean, he's just, again, we didn't really need him.
No.
I mean, we did, but we didn't, We didn't need him to have a great game. He just needed to have a really solid outing, and he did that. I think the biggest, like, it's weird, but this was the most inspiring part of the evening. This player's performance.
Yeah, and that was Jax Kerr. We got really good bench minutes from the freshman, Zach. And when Kerr came in, he hit a 3-pointer. He had 3 dunks to go a perfect 4 for 4 from the field for 9 points overall. Also had a rebound and a really nice dime. I really liked what I saw out of him.
I'm willing to go. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say this kid is going to be really special. I think he's polished. He walks with a supreme amount of confidence. I think he's in complete control of his physical gifts as an 18, 19-year-old, which is very rare to see. I think we saw him, do the kind of things that you see high major big men do. Not maybe on the at the volume that the big time players do, but again, he's 18, 19, and I really am excited to see what this guy can develop into further, and hopefully we have him for 4 years to watch him develop.
For sure. Yeah, just there's some clear tools, here. There's some clear skill. And I'm really excited. I think he's going to get some more opportunities in the next several games here. Cam Hudson, another exciting freshman, 4 points that included a tough and one finish. That was really impressive. Both of these guys went plus 10 in 7 minutes, which is great because, as we said earlier, Zach, when these guys come on, when the freshmen and walk-ons come on, normally the plus minus falls. And so you've got like your starters who are all like plus 20 or whatever. These guys come on and they're like -8 in the last 5 minutes because that's just how it goes when you're playing another team's starters. But that's not what happened here.
No, and it's because they were in with starters or high end rotation players. That's what I loved about the minutes they got. Shirts talked about it post game how important reps are especially for a guy like Kerr. and reps with first teamers are superior reps than reps with Jaden Shirts and Isaac Holmes. No offense.
No offense, but they know it too.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. To get that good run is really valuable for those guys.
Speaking of the devil, Isaac Holmes, he had a nice reverse layup off a cut. I believe Kerr made the pass.
I think
and
so.
then Jaden Shirts was the only non-scorer in the game. But he had a rebound to prevent the trillion. You want to get the trillion. The trillion is a badge of honor. All right. They did like a weird. Know. Did you see the weird hand motion they were doing with
Shirts
Jaden
and Holmes?
No, like the bench players at Jaden, and then like the students were. But speaking, I don't know if you saw it, but it was weird in the arena. They were, but also I rewatched the game and I noticed one of the students threw up a Billiken hand sign. Did you see this?
Oh yeah. The face thing.
So it's like this.
Yeah.
You bring. I don't know, but like I think it's awesome.
You make a Billiken shape over your face.
Not over your face, but you just like make it with your hands. So like the face is these are the ears. The index fingers are the ears.
I got to see it more. I got to look at it more closely.
Yeah, we tweeted it out. By the way, thanks for following our Twitter thing. But no, I thought it was awesome. Like I'm all in on this hand signal. We need to make it a thing. It's I don't know where it came from, but I remember they tried to do like the Billiken. I can't even do it anymore. It was like almost like a hook 'em with like bent. It's a little bit more too much like the TCU, the Horned Frogs.
Yeah.
Let's see. Again, this team is just a blast to watch, man.
Yeah, it just feels like so long since we've had a team this fun.
Yeah.
They're just fun. Like you said, I think they set the record for alley oops in a single game at Chaffetz, and I think
they didn't miss a single one.
No. Although I will say, he was fouled on it. To be fair, Thames went up for a dunk that may, if he landed it, that may have surpassed the alley-oop from earlier in the game. He went up for a monster dunk from really far out, but the guy got under him a little bit, and Thames landed and sat up and just stayed. He was so mad. He was like, "I can't believe you,
you son of a bitch."
He's really funny after after plays. Like he's really funny. He's got a personality that's really emerging this season, which I love to see. Yeah.
I love that he brought back the ponytail, the man bun. The Rufio look, like the very flowy look. Like I just think he's such a stylish player. By the way, speaking of style, he's wearing like a wristband around his calf now.
Well, it's not a wristband if it's on your calf, but okay, yeah.
God.
So
I'm done. I'm out of here, guys.
I'll look more closely at the accessories.
Yes,
I'm not a big accessories guy, but
they were wearing. They ditched the all black shoes.
Yes.
That is a welcome change, and they looked like they were playing lighter. I'm just gonna say it. All black shoes are heavier. They just are. They root you to the ground. This is the first time since 94, 95, probably the last time we had a fun team. This is the first time since 94, 95. They've scored 100 3 times in a season. And I'm going to tell you, I think they score 100 3 more times.
It's, when you look at our schedule, it's very, very possible. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go do it. I would contend that we've had some fun teams since then. The Larry Hughes year was a lot of fun.
See, again, that was 96, 97. So like, bro, I don't remember much of that.
But Zach, like on a not fun note,
yeah,
I think there is something from the in-game experience today.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Pretty glaring omission. Yeah,
confusing to say the least. And I want to say shout out to Colin Surrey, and who's his partner on the broadcast today?
I missed his name.
Clark, was it Matt Clark? I can't think of it right now. So I'm sorry. I apologize. They were both outstanding, by the way, on the broadcast. But what is very confusing is how they got through an entire men's basketball game with not even a single acknowledgement of the men's soccer team.
This was surprising to me because I just assumed it was one of those things that would have happened, and that we didn't get on the broadcast because it was commercials.
Yeah, I mean, no, nothing. I get it. You have things planned and whatnot, but you could have during a timeout, a TV timeout, simple, quick 10-second highlight reel of goals and saves in quick succession to some inspirational music, followed by Guy Phillips providing necessary information. And this could have been done by it's frustrating. I understand why the team wasn't in the building. That's fine. That matters not at all. Because obviously they have had a long weekend, long travel day yesterday. I get that. They need to catch up on some academic requirements, as I was told. And I'm sure the coaching staff's already out there, obsessively digging through everything that is the NC State Wolfpack roster and scout. But that little clip segment could have been something a student could do in an hour on iMovie in exchange for some swag, like a Billiken soccer polo or anything, man. And what's frustrating is it's just, again, another symptom of not having enough staff and not being able to keep everything running at the highest of levels.
Right.
You have to have two full-time content people. You're always going to have two teams. You're almost always going to have two important teams playing at once, at least. You should probably have three so that the third one can play Roman goalie and just kind of assist for the most part. And then when, if men's soccer, men's basketball, and women's soccer still in the NCAA, then you have three people. But and you just kind of pick who the short straw is that doesn't get to go to the NCAA tournament at that point. But I don't know. Into that point, the wacky, waveable, inflatable tube men, nowhere to be found the last two games. They got rid of those apparently. They've apparently turned into the pyro that would only show up when they seem to just feel like having pyro. And it's just another kind of descent back into that, not every game matters. I mean, 7 students showed up. Again, to that point, we got to talk about the attendance. 7 students. I understand that it's CMU and it's colder than a well digger's ass, but how do you have a grand total of 7 students? What were you doing?
It's a good question. When it's funny. I was watching this game with my kids. My wife came home and she's like, "Oh wow, you guys are up by a lot." And she's like, "Oh, I guess did most of the fans leave already?" Because it was early in the second half. And I was like, I don't think they were there to begin with. And she goes, "Whoa," because on the broadcast, whenever you got a shot of the end with the band and the students, it looked bad. It looked really, really bad.
Well, I think 4,000 is what I saw on Discord.
Yeah, 4,400. Yeah.
Oh man, I just. That's what I'm saying. Everybody, and all the athletic department deserves a ton of credit for this soccer, and they deserve to be there. Somebody's got to work. Somebody's got to be doing the legwork for men's basketball.
Right.
While you're not here there, and that's it's frustrating. It's so understaffed, and that's frustrating because there's so much cool shit you can be doing. It's been an incredible week of Billiken athletics, and it's just really stupid to have. I don't know. It's just stupid to not. I mean, going the worst part is not acknowledging men's soccer.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't care about any of the other stuff.
Right.
But to not acknowledge your Final Four team it's absurd.
I mean, you like marketing people. Like this is these are basketball fans that feel a certain way about Billiken. Like, show them something else. Like, oh, you like Billikens? Well, we got soccer Billikens too. At least
Right.
some of these people are going to watch it on TV. Maybe they buy them. Maybe they go to the store, the Billiken shop online after the game. Like, I'm going to buy a Billiken soccer shirt to watch the game on Friday night. Like,
Right.
these are opportunities to make money. And you just do not seem to give a shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the 91-70 win at Loyola Marymount earlier in the week on Tuesday the 2nd. Stop us if you've heard this one before. The Billikens managed a double-digit lead in the first half on the road, despite turning it over 10 times and going 2 of 10 from 3.
Yeah. To do two of the things that you're not I mean, two major things that badly, and to still be up 40-24 at half is pretty amazing. And it's because they own the boards, number one. They played as fast as they could, continually attacking the rim, and then they played great half-court defense. So it seems like maybe Majerus, Zach, was onto something when he wrote defend, rebound on the whiteboard before every game, because turns out that's a recipe to win games occasionally.
Yeah, it's I guess the rebounding margin was incredible. Plus 20 for the game, 47-27. Defend and rebound, man.
That's all you got to do, apparently, if your shot's not falling. Second half, things got a little bit better on the offensive end, despite some of the same issues. You had 8 more turnovers, 7 for 19 from 3, so getting better. But Trey Green, as we alluded to previously, was a big reason the shooting improved. He ended up with 23 points, the most he scored in a SLU uniform, on 8 of 12 shooting and 6 of 9 from outside. I thought he really was great. I mean, he was the reason we were able to build the lead in this one, Zach.
Yeah, I was trying to look up something. It's late. It's so late. Go, just keep going. You're doing great, sweetie.
He pulled SLU away. No turnovers. But Zach, you had a note. I opened it up for you here because you had a note that you wanted to talk about Trey Green's 3-point shot.
Yeah, I love the little, I don't know how he does it, because he's like, if he comes off a screen and he's shooting on the run, he will, like, I don't know how he does it, but he backspins it to himself. When you're in the gym by yourself and you want to, like, give yourself a pass, You toss it out to the side and then turn and shoot. He does that, but off the dribble, and I don't understand what he does. Like, it's a weird, I don't know, does he palm it? Like, I don't know what he's doing. Does he kind of like, I have no idea, dude.
He's a rhythm shooter. I've been saying bizarre. It all season. He's a rhythm shooter. He needs that little bit of motion in his lead up to the shot.
He's an exciting player to watch when he heats up.
Oh man. Yeah, for sure. Because
he's the kind of guy that, like, fans of other teams are just gonna, like, they just sink into their chair. I gotta tell you, am I watching this?
Speaking of fans of other teams, Xavier fans are kind of like pissed after the last few games from Trey Green, because they're pissed at Sean Miller, I should say, because he recruited Trey Green and then buried him on the bench, and they're like, I mean, we buried him, didn't play him, and then let him get away, and look at what he's capable of. So it's great to see him.
Payback for that game when Brown scored at the buzzer in Scott trade.
Robbie Avila finished with 17 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He was 0 for 2 from 3, unfortunately. Just didn't shoot well away from home, but he led SLU at plus 21 for the game. Quentin Jones had that huge first half with 12 points and 4 assists. Didn't score again until the last few minutes, but ended up with 16 and 7, along with 3 steals. going plus 19 and led SLU with 30 minutes played. Only the third player, I think, fourth this season to play 30 or more minutes in a game. Dion Brown was the fourth and final double-digit scorer in this game with 12 points, 8 rebounds, and honestly excellent defense. But unfortunately, the fifth starter did not have his best game, Amari McCautry. Everybody was plus 11 or better, but he was -1 in 19 minutes, 5 turnovers, 6 points, the only one not in double digits. He did have 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals, though. But I thought his decision-making was really a problem on the California trip overall. Meanwhile, the bench, SLU got 17 points from 4 different players. None of them were on. Sharma was 1 of 8, managed to go plus 17 in 23 minutes. He played hard. His shot just wasn't falling. Brady Dunlap took a long time to get going, but scored all 5 of his points in a short stretch in the second half. Thames had 11 rebounds in 19 minutes, and his dunk finish from the lob from Jones literally knocked the shot clock loose, and they had to fix it before play could resume.
Thames is having an all-time run.
His highlights are unparalleled on this team. Paul Otieno still looked like he was kind of adjusting in this game, and is still coming into his role. But overall, Zach, in this LMU game, I thought SLU's defense deserved a lot of credit. You held the Lions to just 41% shooting overall, 22% from 3. Meanwhile, SLU shot a respectable 505, 310, 80% from the free throw line. It's crazy because if you told me the score before the game, I would have taken it no matter what. And yet it just felt like in this game there were glaring areas for improvement. That kind of raised some long-term questions about this team's ability to shoot outside of Shea Fitz Arena. So we won't have more data on that until January, unfortunately. Last couple notes here, Zach. Great to see Lorenzo Romar. I have very fond memories of being a freshman manager for him before he left SLU.
Low-row.
And now he's, still living in his the house he had when he was coaching Pepperdine, and he's an assistant for Loyola Marymount. So it's just great to see him again. And it reminded me that Stu interviewed him when Loyola Marymount came to SLU last season. And then the last thing I'll say, I love the late start time. This was a 10 p.m. Eastern start time. I didn't mind at all, despite a lot of whining coming from you guys in the central time zone. For me personally, I'll stay up late if it means I don't have to miss any of the game while dealing with getting kids ready for bed or any of that nonsense. So I can just sit down. It's late, sure, but lock in, watch a game. I like it.
Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed watching the game. That it was an inauspicious start to the game, made me a little nervous. Yep. The shooting I'm worried about away from home. It's just very weird how bad we are compared, the stark contrast between the abilities at home versus away. So that's not encouraging, but I think this team is so good at getting to the hoop that not the worst thing in the world. Next up for the Billikens will be San Francisco on Saturday, the 13th. They will come to Shea Fitz. It is the puffy vest theme night. So hopefully you got yours. The Dons, talk about them.
The Dons of San Francisco, the University of San Francisco. They're 6-4. They're coming off a win against Mississippi State in Tupelo. It came down to the wire and was almost derailed by a Bulldog putback off a guy's head. I don't know if you saw that highlight, but it was hilarious. An offensive rebound literally bounced off one of their bigs' heads up off the backboard and in to make it like a 2-point game. But San Francisco held on for the win. That happened in the last minute. So they also have wins over lower division UC Santa Cruz, go Banana Slugs, Portland State, Bradley, Northwestern State, and Minnesota. And then losses at Memphis, also lost to Colorado, North Alabama, and Nevada. They're a solid defensive team. That's kind of their identity. They hold teams to under 68 points per game. Opponents only shoot 404 against them. It's really a contrast in style to SLU because they play slow, we play fast. They're a pretty good three-point shooting team. They were 38% coming into the game today. I think they had an off day, and they're down to 36.5. Their scoring is really spread out. They've got 4 guys who average between 10 and 13 points a game. 5'11" junior guard Ryan Beasley had 3 straight 20-point games, but he's been quieter the last few as his three-point shooting has kind of cooled off. 6'6" junior forward Mookie Cook is an inside-out scorer, very good rebounder, active, versatile, solid all-around player. He's a tough matchup. 6'6" sophomore guard Tyrone Riley is coming off a season-high 16 points against Mississippi State. Could be a guy to look out for. And then 6'9", 245 junior forward David Fuchs, who you'll recognize from Rhode Island the previous 2 seasons, averages about 10 and 7. So we kind of already know him. Both teams played Sunday, and neither team has a game until this one on Saturday. So both teams are going to be well rested when this game happens. They're not bad, right? San Francisco's not bad. They're just not as good as we kind of hoped for purposes of our schedule metrics. We probably
I'm not going to let you get away without saying David Fuchs.
Is it Fuchs?
I don't know. I'm just not going to I'm going to acknowledge it because that was my running joke on Twitter last year.
Oh, yes. No. I know. That's right.
No,
That's right. Okay.
I'm very sorry.
But Zach, the most interesting thing to for me to watch for is whether they're going to be able to slow SLU down, right? Stanford and Santa Clara had some success there to a degree. But regardless of that, SLU has to win either way. This is part of our undefeated December mission. Just got to get it done.
I'm excited for it. I don't know where I'll be watching this, but it should be a good time regardless. Let's kick it around the A10, Pete. Tuesday the 2nd, George Washington beats Army 84-70, which is a very funny that's a very funny score line to read. Just George Washington versus beats Army.
He turned on. That.
He did. Benedict Arnold University. George Mason 99. Cornell 81. Rhode Island 66. Brown 56. William and Mary beats Duquesne 83-79. Dayton beats East Tennessee State University 88-71. Loyola 83. Central Michigan 72. How bad are we going to beat Loyola?
Oh, my God.
Wednesday the 3rd, Richmond beats Belmont 84-76. That's a nice little win. St. Bonaventure 83 versus Bloomsburg. Why do we continue to put the Division II teams it's a D2 Pennsylvania State School, technically called the Commonwealth University of Bloomsburg, or Cub. Thursday the 4th, Davidson 79 versus Citadel. Davidson 79, Citadel 63. Citadel was 365 of 365 in the net rating after entering the game. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. Talk about the weekend.
Friday the 5th had one game, VCU 83, Samford 57. Saturday had a bunch of games. Providence 90, Rhode Island 91, Virginia 86, Dayton 73 in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That was fun to watch.
Dayton had a late 14-0 run to get it close, but UVA closed it out after that last media timeout. Richmond 86, Old Dominion 77. Richmond, I made a couple. They're better than I thought. St. Bonaventure 77, Buffalo 69.
Nice.
Holy Cross 70, Fordham 69.
Nice.
St. Joe's 70, Temple 69.
Nice.
LaSalle 69.
Nice.
Drexel 64. LaSalle was actually running away with that game, but let Drexel all the way back into it. George Washington 99, William and Mary 86. Duquesne 84, Stony Brook 75, Virginia Tech 73, George Mason 62. Say the line, Zach. Say it.
Frauds.
Mason was the A10's last undefeated team. I would argue with you that they were frauds until that game, maybe. But no, even so, I think they're pretty good. They're better, a little better than we expected, and the team that's a little worse than we expected, Loyola. 73, Princeton 68. Is 2 games a winning streak? I don't know. Very inspirational nonetheless from the Blurs to gut out a 5-point win at home over a bad Princeton team.
Do we have 2 confirmed miracles now for Sister Jean? So like the last year's results were a miracle, and then the 3-point the shot
Cleveland State
to begin the season, that's her second miracle. I think she's on her way to sainthood.
If they win one more game, then canonize her. Sunday the 7th, one other game besides SLU was St. Mary's 70, Dayton 61. It was a really close game at Davidson, and Davidson had to foul at the end, so the margin was a little worse than the game actually was. But good battle from Davidson.
If you want a canonizer. That's
go
like
for it.
Crown them. The crown them.
Yes, right.
Canonizer.
I won't say no.
Okay. Do you remember how tall Chris Sloan was?
I do, Zach. I don't want to say it for our younger listeners.
Yes. Talk about recruiting instead. Sorry, I hit the mic.
Mason Williams is being recruited by SLU. He's a 6'3" point guard from the Jackson, Mississippi area.
Wow.
He plays at Tennessee Christian Academy. He's the son of former NBA star Mo Williams, who now coaches at Jackson State. He was committed there, but decommitted, and has since heard from SLU, Texas Tech, who offered, LSU, Seton Hall, and some others. He had 8 offers originally. I'm not sure how many of those schools will get back in the mix, but that included Ole Miss, Washington, Memphis, and several others. So pretty ice cold to decommit from your dad, but I don't know the whole story there. He might have just said, hey, you're a little above this level. Go get that bag.
It's an odd way to be like, these schools that have offered me really suck. I just want to get them off my ass. So I'm gonna commit to a school and then decommit, and then those guys just leave you alone. Like, I don't know, just like these old dudes just keep calling me. It's weird.
Maybe.
Our friends over at 2 Men in a Garden, man, they're contributing to the Cary trip. Let's give them a little love.
Let's give them love, Zach. That's easy to do from my perspective, even though I'm not traveling. But when I did travel back to St. Louis, I told you I got some of the cantina style salsa, and
the best.
The non-surprising end to that story is that jar did not last very long in my house. That first jar, it is gone already. We had a taco night this week. It didn't survive. I'm going to have to bring in reinforcements because that stuff goes down really easy. Go check it out for yourself. Go get the cantina style. Strongly recommended. Still think they got to do it in a hot flavor, but someday. Go over to twomeningarden.com, and if you can't get it locally, they'll ship to you $9.99 if you're in the continental United States. twomenindagarden.com.
Pete, it was to say this has been a completely surprising start to the conference season for women's basketball would be a bit of an understatement. I am completely just blown away with kind of how they've responded to just an awful start to the season. And run us through real quick. I feel terrible that our soccer team has made the Final Four, and we're not going to be able to give love to everybody the way we'd like to. But run us down this Bonaventure game, and then I'll run down the Evansville game, and we can get moving.
Yeah, so Bonaventure was the only A10 game they've played so far. The A10 did a thing that some other conferences are doing now. Well, they'll put one conference game earlier in December, and you still play some non-con games after that. But nonetheless, they beat St. Bonaventure 76-70 on Wednesday the 3rd. Jada Dennis, Zach, this was her game, her breakout game. There's no way SLU wins this without her. 24 points, 9 of 16 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 4 fouls, just 2 turnovers in 35 minutes. St. Bonaventure erased SLU's 9-point lead and got to within 2 with under 4 minutes left. And then she hits a huge three-pointer to make it 66-61. Then she hit another one after a Zaya Nugent steal to ice the game with 31 seconds left, putting SLU up 9. Those were SLU's only three-pointers in the whole game. They were 0 of 10 until that point. By the way, she came in as a player known for her defense. We wondered where the points were going to come from. It's not just Nugent and Nelson, despite some of their inconsistency, but the freshman, Dennis, along with Brown, can really score, and they're better shooters than expected. But it took clutch plays from more than just Jada. We already mentioned Nugent's steal and an assist on that last three-pointer. She had another steal and a layup before that, putting SLU up 7 at the 1:14 mark. We got some big team stops defensively, and then Kira Brown had an offensive board and layup after Dennis's first three-pointer. So they really made plays when it counted. Alexia Nelson had 17 points on 8 of 15 shooting, led SLU at +8 for the game. Nugent, Brown, Kirkenmeyer, and Josiah Wallace all had 8 or 9 points apiece. Kirkenmeyer also had 8 rebounds, and her defensive presence was undeniable, even if she's still pretty raw on the offensive end. Sorry. Defensively, she really can disrupt some things. It was a close game, despite SLU leading for over 28 minutes, 5 ties, 10 lead changes. SLU won the turnover battle. They kept rebounding close. They've had trouble closing out games so far this season, fouling too much down the stretch in the fourth quarter, but they closed this one out by scoring 30 in the final quarter and got to a 1-0 start in A10 play against a not great, but still much improved St. Bonaventure team, Zach. And then they kept that momentum going against Evansville.
Yeah, they did. And again, I know Evansville is bad. They're a bad team, 2-6 before this game. And but if I told you that we would see both Ellie Pelusic and Marilena Triantafili, would you have guessed it was in a winning effort?
Coin flip. Yeah, I don't know.
It was 72-55. Billikens take down the Purple Aces. It didn't look like it would end up like this all along. Poor shooting and turnovers kept it close until the Billikens started to pull away late in the second quarter. I did think like they looked good early on. Like the start of this game was it was very positive. I thought, oh, the Billikens are still they're the same team they were against Bonaventure. They were up 9 at halftime and up by 17 after 3. They dominated Evansville inside. They had 48 points in the paint to just 24 for Evansville. Always a good sign when you can double up your opponent in any statistical category. Kirkenmeyer, perfect 6 for 6. That's phenomenal. I mean, I had been worried about Kirkenmeyer and her offensive ability, how long that was going to take to come along. Like, yeah. I had faith that it would come along with her, but I didn't know what the timeline would look like. And they didn't quite feed her more. She could have probably done even more in the scoring column. Her defender looked absolutely helpless. She also had 9 rebounds and 3 blocks. Speaking of helpless, Central Michigan's defense 3 minutes into the second half looked completely wiped. I just want to bring that up again. Yeah. Brown led SLU in scoring on the women's side with 16. She went 4 of 6 from outside. Only Billiken hit a 3 all day. The team was 4 for 14. Nelson and Dennis had 14 and 12 respectively. Jada Tiggett might have had the most unusual stat line for the day. In just 15 minutes, she had 4 points, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, and a steal, and led the Billikens at plus 17 again, plus minus, greater than the minutes played. That's big time. It was not pretty, but they took care of business against a young Evansville team. That's now 3 wins in the past 4 games after starting the season 1-5. And we're gonna. I don't know. Is the Crow on the fire right now?
Is the Crow on the fire?
Yeah. Are we cook? Is the Crow being cooked right now? Like, are we concerned? Are we gonna? Look, like what kind of seasoning are we putting on this thing?
I see what you're saying. Okay, you're torturing this metaphor a bit. The Crow itself.
I'm torturing it. I'm appalled by that characterization. That was fantastic.
I don't think I would go that far yet. They're playing better, but they're still 4-6. I mean,
but there was talk though going into this season where, and it wasn't just us, it was people on the board and on the Discord. Like, where are we going to get wins from?
I think the things that have emerged are the freshmen are better than we realized. Like Herkenmeyer was more ready to go than I thought she'd be. And like we said, she's still really raw, but Brown can really shoot. Like she can really shoot. She's a dynamic player, and I didn't expect her to be that good. I didn't expect Dennis to have an offensive game at all, and then she has a huge week. I thought she was really just a defensive specialist. So I think there are, the younger players are just better than we thought, and that's given them more depth. And then Nelson and Nugent have been as good as builds. So, we have options. We have a little more depth than I expected. We have a little more scoring punch than I expected. But they still got a long way to go. This is still a 4-6 team. So we hopefully this isn't just a hot streak.
Yeah, I mean, if they got Mizzou coming up on Sunday the 14th, and this is a 9-2 Mizzou team with its only losses to Kansas and Troy. They're currently number 79 in the net ranking. They're an outstanding 3-point shooting team at 40.4% on the season. They hit over 80% of their free throws. They don't rebound it particularly well, and they don't force many turnovers. But I mean, if SLU holds their own in this game, I'm ready to start thinking about considering potentially being optimistic.
Yeah, I think so, because this is the level of team, right? Like there's a level of power conference. Like if you're playing South Carolina or Notre Dame or whatever, you're not going to upset them. That's just the nature of it's just not going to happen. But Mizzou is at the level where it can happen, and they've done it before. They've really got two players. 6'2" junior guard Grace Slaughter averages 19 points a game.
Great name.
7.4 rebounds a game. She shoots about 5 threes a game and makes them at a 42.3% rate. So look out for her. 5'10" junior guard Shannon Dowell from O'Fallon, Illinois.
Terrible name.
She averages 17 and about 8 rebounds a game. She's smaller than Slaughter, but way more likely to go to the rim. Solid 3-point shooter, but she only takes about 2 a game. She's an outstanding rebounder for her size and position. She's a really unique player. So anyway, Zach, they're gonna have a chance, if they play. A lot of things are gonna have to go well, but it's not a given that it'll be a blowout.
Any given Sunday, as my mother would say.
They're underdogs. They're underdogs, but they're at home and they're playing well, and they've got a week to prepare.
Yeah, go Bills, man. That's not the end yet. That's not the end of our episode. Track and field. You're the. I'll do it. Saluki Fast Start, December 5th and 6th. It's the first indoor meet of the season. If you're not doing it yet, follow John Bell. If track and field interests you particularly, that is where you can get all of the important information on their results. Cale Eldridge won the men's 800 with a time of 2:01:33. Meredith Dryle won the women's 800 at 2:21:01. Jillian Jackson, great name, won the 400 at 58:22, an indoor PR. Lots more PRs listed in his feed. Go check it out now on Twitter. Next up will be the Indiana Early Bird meet on Friday the 12th. Pete, there's some outgoing transfers. There's one outgoing transfer and one incoming transfer for women's soccer. And then SLU tweeted about Camille Welker returning. I wasn't aware that was unofficial, or that there was a question as to whether she wasn't.
Unless somebody hits the portal and announces it, I just assume they're returning.
Yeah. But
yeah. So outgoing, Zach, we've got Summer Fischel. She announced her decision to transfer to Indiana on Monday. She sat out this season after knee surgery. And by the way, thanks to Baby Billikens for bringing these soccer transfers to our attention. There's just not a good online database of women.
They call it the Baby Billikens database.
The
Okie database.
Yeah, right. So for men's basketball, you got Verbal Commit. For women's basketball, you've got WBB blog. But there's not that for soccer, so it helps. So thanks to him. Incoming transfers, Pepper Escher.
Great name.
Yeah, per Stu Durando, SLU women's soccer has added transfer goalkeeper Pepper Escher, who was at UMass for 1 year. She played in one game and has 3 years of eligibility. She was one of three goalkeepers invited to the U.S. U20 training camp in October.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Didn't they have like a sick goalie over there the
I
last few years?
I have put UMass out of my head. I don't know.
Baseball, they released their 2026 schedule. Starts out with a sweet 3-game series against Ohio State in Pensacola. Do you think I can convince my girlfriend to go to that with me?
Can't hurt to try.
Yeah. Then they had a SEMO for a one-off road game, 3-game series in North Alabama, a midweek game at SIUE. They'll risk starting the home season on February 25th against Southern Indiana before hosting Bellarmine on the weekend. They'll stay home all the way through the middle of March, hosting Western Illinois and Illinois State for single games and Bradley and Dayton for full weekend series. Then it's up to the Great White North of Ole in New York for a series at St. Bonaventure starting March 20th. The home series, George Mason, Davidson, Rhode Island, Richmond. Other midweek games at home, Utah Tech, which I didn't know existed, SIUE, Lindenwood, and Missouri State. I knew those three existed. Other road games, St. Joe's, George Washington, VCU, and Fordham. Other road midweek games, Illinois State, SIUE, Western Illinois, and Lindenwood. Dates are subject to change due to weather, obviously. Pete, we have a men's soccer team that's in the College Cup, and they are playing at 7:30 p.m. on Friday, December 12th. That's a sentence that I can't believe I'm saying out loud on this show. I cannot wait to get to Cary, North Carolina. MF and roll Bills, baby.
Roll Bills.